Hello. Yes, we got sound. We got sound. Okay. Good thing there's not actually anyone watching live. All right, we got it. Good morning and welcome to the Pop Culture Club, a club for everyone who loves anyone and everyone who loves pop culture. My name is Megan Novi and welcome to the club. It is Thursday morning and we have been having a beautiful week here in California. Beautiful weather, loving this spring. Except it's freezing in the morning. Like I was walking around barefoot, my feet were freezing. And then by the time I left to pick up my daughter, it was literally 80 degrees. It said in my car, and I was burning hot. So I should not have worn a sweater to pick her up. Whew. Yeah, but we're almost to the end of the week. We're almost to Friday. Last night was Summer House. Great episode. We're going to be talking about that. To be honest, it's going to be a really heavy Summer House episode because that's one of my top shows right now. And there's so much to talk about with the Peg. I keep saying it. Paige and Craig drama. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about that and get your guys' thoughts on that whole situation. Sorry, I'm going to fix my hair and then I'm going to stop touching it. That's good. Take a sip of coffee. Guys, this is my 10th episode. If you've been watching, I originally said my goal was to get into double digits, and today is double digits. I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm hoping to do 10 more. My next goal will be 10 more. Get my Instagram up so I can start live streaming to you guys on Instagram in the morning and hopefully get some engagement, some people to pipe in their opinion, type it in. I'm ready to hear it. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I'm kind of looking for is honestly anyone who loves reality TV, who loves pop culture and is willing to wake up at 6:00 in the morning and start talking about it right away. If there's any of my people that are out there like that, come find me. So, all right. I'm going to pull up my notes for the day. All right. I can't believe March is almost over. Like, we're already at what, the 20th of March? I'm going to fact check that. Yeah, it's the 20th. That's crazy. It's almost April. We're bordering on tourist season. So excited for that. We have March Madness going on right now. Does anyone fill out a bracket? Anyone following March Madness? I usually follow it every year. This year, not so much. Honestly, I've been following this podcast, Two Judgy Girls. They have a March Madness well, they have a podcast, but they have a bracket and with all the Bravo guys on there and all the guys submit their pictures and people vote for them. And so that's going to be that's what I'm going to be following this year. So let me know if you're following that at all too. I'm still waking up. I went to bed really late last night because we decided to watch Daredevil. And then I watched Summer House last night so that I could, get all my thoughts together, think about them, marinate on them for a little bit. Okay. So here's the order. We're going to do some random stories, really random stories. These are just things that I picked up yesterday. I'm going to talk about Daredevil and I'm going to talk about Summer House. We're going to break that down because tonight we have a Summer House and tomorrow we have Southern Charm. So basically tonight is Paige's side of the story and then next week is Craig's side of the story. All right. We will start with the one that you guys might be seeing floating around on the internet. The headline is saying that Will Arnett asked Adam Scott if he's ever had an emotional affair with a coworker. And the reason that this is striking a chord with everyone's kind of their ears are perking up is because Adam Scott was on Parks and Rec with Amy Poehler, who was Will Arnett's ex-wife, and they were married at the time that Amy Poehler was filming Parks and Rec. So Everyone was like, "Is that something that Will Arnett thought? Is that, like, something that was going on?" Um, and all the articles that I've seen are very it's just, "This question was asked. This question was asked." I was like, "Why isn't anyone giving the answer?" And so, don't worry, guys. I found the clip, I listened to it, and basically, Will Arnett asked him the question, and everyone just starts giggling, and it's almost like they knew that that question was coming. Everyone knew except for Adam Scott. Adam Scott thought it was funny. They just kind of, like, giggled and laughed about it, but there was never, like, any answer. So if you guys were wondering what the answer to the question was, it seems like there really wasn't one, and they just kind of, like, giggled it off, I guess. Um It's just funny saying that, like, all those guys, like, giggling. The Smartless podcast is hosted by Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes, and they started it a few years ago, and it's honestly become I think it's always number 1 charting on podcasts. People love it. Um, and they always get really good guests. Right now, they have Adam Scott because he's on Severance, and that show is huge, right? Does anyone watch Severance? Should I watch it? I know it's only on the 2nd season, but I feel like everyone's talking about Severance. It's one of those smart shows. I feel like you watch it, you're smart. It's a HBO Sunday night appointment television show, which I'm having a little bit of FOMO not watching. Oh, no. Is it HBO? No, it's Apple TV. It's Apple TV. Okay. Yeah, so let me know if I should watch Severance. HBO, their appointment Sunday night television is White Lotus, so that's what everyone's talking about. I keep hearing, like, little things about it, and I still haven't jumped in. We'll see. If I have time, I will. Yeah, like, I have time. Okay. Um, okay, yeah, so all those guys are on that podcast. It's pretty much no news. It's like, advertising for their podcast basically, because people are gonna go tune in and listen. So it's kind of good. This little I wonder if they feed it like, if their marketing feeds it to Us Weekly, or if the people at Us Weekly are just looking for stories and just need to, like, type things out right away and, like, send off these stories, that are, like, nothing. If anyone knows the insight into that, let me know too. That's interesting. But in the article, I did notice that it was called the Smartness podcast, and I thought I was having one of those, like, Mandela things where it's always been smartness, but I've called it smartless because I would have, like, what's the term? Like, died I don't know. I would have bet my life that it was smartless, and I was right because it was a misprint, so, whew, I would have lived. Okay, the next, clickbait article I saw is that Ellen Pompeo is saying that she was, crying during a sex scene with filming with TR Knight on Grey's Anatomy. So, um Ellen Pompeo and TR Knight were both on Grey's Anatomy. She played Meredith Grey, and he played George O'Malley. In the first few seasons, he had a crush on her, and in real life, he was gay in real life. Um, and back in then, it was like a huge deal, you know, but now it's like, cool. We don't need to, like, make a big deal about that. Um so yeah, so in the 2nd season, I don't know if I have any Grey's Anatomy watchers. I know if any of my friends are watching, that some of you guys dabble. My mom has seen every single episode, all 20 seasons. Props to her. That's where I get it from. I get it from my mama. Um, so they have to film in that 2nd season, George and Meredith is, like, upset about, Derek McDreamy, um, and so she hooks up with George, and okay, so the article is, yeah, she's crying during that sex scene. Why? Well, I was thinking about it, I was like, I think she was crying, like, actually in the scene. Like, I think she was supposed to be crying, so it would make sense that they cried during that sex scene. Well, it turns out that behind the scenes, they felt so uncomfortable filming it, like, they were friends. He, is not really attracted to her. He's an actor, he can do it, but they just, like, the chemistry it wasn't there, they didn't wanna do it, they felt very uncomfortable, um, and so she was just, like, actually crying when she did it. So the headline is a little misleading, like, okay, she was actually crying, but she was supposed to cry in the scene. So either way, she was gonna cry, but it looks like those were real tears. And then in she was on Call Her Daddy. This is where all this information is coming from. She recently did an interview with Alex Cooper, and she went on to tell all of these stories. So yeah, she basically said that she cried, TR Knight cried. They hated doing it. Then the executives saw the scene and were like, "He's thrusting weird," and they made them redo it, which is like their worst nightmare. They redid it, cried again. She never watched it after that, which it was literally like a just a bump in the road for Meredith and Derek at that point. Like George and Meredith realized it was a mistake, and yeah, and then that plot line moved on. Season 2 I can't remember where does season 1 or season 2 end with the ex-wife coming in, Addison? Um, this is on topic, but this isn't part of the article while we're talking about Addison. I read something a few weeks ago that said that, the actress that plays Addison, uh, came in and had her line, but Meredith, um, Ellen Pompeo, maybe Derek, um, didn't know that she was gonna say, "He's my husband. That's my husband you're sleeping with." And so the look on their face was actually, like, surprised. So, my face is shiny right there. Okay, that's better. Um, yeah, so that was, like, a surprise line that they gave to get their reaction. I thought that was interesting. I like those behind the scenes, things of how of, like, especially iconic clips, like Addison Gray coming in and talking to Derek Gray and Meredith Shepherd as the elevator opens, and it's like, "Oh, that's my husband." I don't know the exact line, but, like, core memory that's burned into my brain, and I remember in college, Grey's Anatomy was Thursday night appointment television. We couldn't go out on Thursday nights because we didn't have TiVo. Or we did have TiVo, but it was college, so I couldn't afford TiVo. The dorms didn't have that luxury in there, so we literally would have to get ready, watch Grey's Anatomy, and then go out at night, and that is dedication. That is dedication. That's who I am as a person. Know that. So, um, sorry, random tidbit, but yeah, let's see, was there any other Grey's Anatomy oh, yeah, she did throw a little bit of shade at McDreamy, um, in that interview, saying that, men can have all of these, losses, can have all of these failures, and will still get offered more money, will still, get offers, and she kind of used, why can't I think of this guy's name? Patrick Dempsey, there we go. I had to scroll kinda down for him on Grey's Anatomy to find that. Um, so she threw some shade at Patrick Dempsey, although she said no with no disrespect, that he has had up to 13 failed pilots, but his asking number keeps getting higher. Whereas, like, if a woman had 13 failed pilots, she wouldn't get to 13 failed pilots. And I kind of agree with that. I do agree with that, and that was interesting that was an interesting take. Ellen Pompeo has said in recent interviews that she stayed with Grey's Anatomy for so long because she was afraid to branch out creatively because it was such a safety net money-wise, she had her kids, she had her family, she knew what her paycheck was, and she didn't really wanna branch out creatively because she knew she had that, and honestly, I feel like that has made her, like, resent the role of Meredith Grey a little bit. You can kinda tell in her interviews that it's just she was done. Her name's on the show. I think she's still on, like, a few episodes in the seasons, but, like, you can tell her heart's not in it anymore. Her heart is not in Meredith Grey, and I don't blame her. It's been a long time. Okay. Another random thing is anyone watching the new Alec Baldwin show, um, with Hilaria Baldwin? Hilaria, she is, like, so on all the time. She's the star of the show, she wants the attention, and Alec is just there for the ride. I think that they did this show as, uh, not protection, but to show people that they are a real family, that, with all of this court stuff coming out about Alec Baldwin, he, um he beat the charges on the criminal case, but he still has the civil case coming up. So, he wants to make sure that he has this image that, like, he's not a murderer. I have a family, guys. But it's letting us in that he looks like kind of miserable. I saw that they were on a red carpet and, they were talking, and Alec Baldwin is hyping up Hillary from Boston. And he's hyping her up and being like, she's amazing. She's amazing. And she's trying to like make her point. And like, she just, like, looks at him and goes like, "Not while I'm talking, not while I'm talking." Like, he's one of her 8 children, and he just, like, looks at the camera, like, it was almost like a Jim from The Office. Um, and he looks miserable. He has all these kids climbing on him. I have one 4-year-old that jumps on me all the time. If I'm on the floor, she's on my back jumping on me. I cannot imagine having 8 kids and being 30 years older. No, that's not the life I want. And I don't think that that's the life Alec wants either. He has all this money, he can go spend it. He could go out and have a nice steak dinner every night if he wanted to, and still have money left over in the bank. And probably because he's a celebrity, have endless medicine so he won't have a heart attack either. So, and he's kids are the future. I love kids, don't get me wrong, but, like, no, that's not what I wanna be doing. So I'll continue to keep you guys covered on the Alec Baldwin, Hillary Baldwin, doings and what they're up to, but she's correcting him on camera now. Um, I mean, Alec Baldwin's not that great of a guy, so I can't feel too bad for him yelling at people on airplanes, calling his daughter, a fat pig. Uh, so maybe this is his how his karma, you know? Karma is a young wife making you have 8 kids. We'll see. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some of the shows that I've been watching. My husband got me hooked on Daredevil. Doesn't take much. I like Marvel shows. Get you a girl that can do Marvel and Bravo. That's me. Um, Daredevil. It's good. It's getting good. It's picking up. I didn't talk about the last episode because that one was kind of a building episode. Um, and there wasn't really much to talk about. This one has a few things that I wanted to mention. It might have some spoilers in it, but nothing crazy. Um, yeah, nothing crazy in it. So yeah, but I highly recommend watching Daredevil. Watch it with me. We can talk about it every week. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention in Daredevil is they're mentioning scrolls, y'all. So the scrolls are in this universe. They're talking about them on Daredevil. I don't know if because they're mentioned if they're gonna make an appearance, but I my ears perked up when I heard that. Vincent D'Onofrio, he plays the big bad guy in this, and they do such a good job of making him, like, towering and scary, um, and yeah, he's just like it's like the camera angle that they do, it's, like, up on him, so it looks like when you're watching TV, it almost looks like you're always looking up at him, and Vincent D'Onofrio is just, like, so I don't know, menacing is, I guess, the term. I am not like a huge Vincent D'Onofrio. I don't know a lot of his work. The only thing I actually think I know him from is The Breakup. He played one of the brothers, the one that owned the business. Off the top of my head, that is the only thing that I know Vincent D'Onofrio from. Um, oh, I guess he was in Men in Black. I just pulled up his IMDb. So I wanted to say what I knew him from before I got told so that I wasn't cheating. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only thing I know him from, but he's in, like, a lot of, I mean, not to be, like, sexist or, heteronormative, but he's in a lot of guy movies, that I wouldn't watch, um, but he's really good in this. One of the ongoing jokes in this episode, oh, so he plays, like, the mayor of New York, or of, yeah, New York, of the town that they're in with Daredevil, and so he's always at these, like, campaigns at schools, at, town halls, things like that, and every time he's there, the people sing to him, "We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll." Um, there's 2 scenes where he's, like, just sitting there, and the first one is, like, the kids are singing, "We built this city," and the second one is where, like, a community is singing it to him, and I thought that was really funny. That song is so random, but I could totally see a politician being like, "Oh, this is a good song. This is a good song to use for my campaign." Something that's been ongoing in this show is that, I keep calling him Vincent D'Onofrio, but that's not his name on the show, so I'm gonna figure out what his name is on Fisk. I didn't even see it, I just remembered, promise. So he plays Fisk, the, bad guy, and in this, show, he's having some problems with his wife. I guess his wife had an affair, so they've been going to couples therapy throughout the first 3 episodes. And in this latest episode, the therapist asked the wife to describe her, like, the guy that she had an affair with, and she's like, "He's an artist, he's not a businessman," and she just started, like, going into, like, detail in front of her husband, and he's, like, this big, like, scary guy, whatever, and fast forward to the end of the episode, Vincent D'Onofrio's eating a steak like Alec Baldwin should be, and he's in a basement, and there's this guy banging, "Help me, let me out, please," and he's just, like, eating a steak while the guy's in there. I, of course, had to ask, my husband, "Who is that guy? Like, why is he in there?" That is the lover, the mistress of the wife. Fisk kidnapped him and put him in there. I'll tell you guys what happens next week because that was pretty good. And then it ends with this guy being lured onto, like, this table that, like a mad scientist would do work on. And then a guy, like a crazy person with a mask, is like, ready to, like, get in on him. And it, like, goes to black. That one I was confused on too, because I didn't recognize the guy laying on the table and the other person had a mask. So I'd asked my husband again. He said he didn't know the person laying on the table was just a random guy. And the guy with the mask had been in the previous episodes. I think he's like this freaky kid because he talked to the therapist at the book signing. If you watch this, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he talked to the therapist at the book signing and he was like, looked so freaky. And I think that that's that guy that's killing people. So that's an underlying plot line. I had talked previously about how I wanted it to be more like Lincoln Lawyer procedural, and I like that they are giving, Daredevil, like, multiple cases, working with multiple clients because I really like that aspect of it too. Daredevil can't see, and in case anyone doesn't know who Daredevil is or only watched the Ben Affleck ones, um Daredevil cannot see. He's a lawyer, he's blind, but because he's blind, all of his other senses are heightened, and so that's how he fights people. Like, he's like, "I can't see you, no problem. Fight you, you're gone." and he can tell people's, like, he can hear their heart rate, so he can, like, kinda tell if they're lying, which is cool for a lawyer, and that's how he really helps his clients, and so I do like that procedural aspect to see how he helps his clients as a lawyer with his power. So and then one more random thing to say about, Daredevil, I wanna get the full name. It's Daredevil Born Again because it's not original Netflix Daredevil, it's Disney Plus Daredevil, and, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought, but it was something about a previous episode. It must have not have been that important. What was it about? I don't know, that happens a lot. Okay, so oh, I remembered, I just need to take a breath. Uh, let me take another one. Um, Something I thought was funny is that one of, Daredevil's previous clients, he was a vigilante, and he had, like, an amulet that helped him with his powers, and so the police picked him up, um, and he was in holding, and their argument was, like, he didn't even have his amulet on him. How could he have hurt people? And I love how in this world that's just, like, no second thought. Yeah, duh, he didn't have his amulet. No question. I was like, "Amulet? What does the amulet do?" But in this world, it's just, "Cool, this guy has an amulet, and he has powers, and he's a vigilante. Cool." I don't know if that's the world I wanna live in. I really don't. Okay, guys, it's time. It's time for Summer House. I've been waiting for this, and I've been waiting for this episode. Of course, they leave it on a cliffhanger. Of course, Craig has to be a little B word and, like, put off this fight with Kyle to the very end so that they can make it a cliffhanger. But I still got a lot to talk about, even though they didn't really dive into the minutia of the Spritz Wars, um, which I thought they had, but they're leaving us hanging. Um, okay, opening scene. Paige already hates Craig. Literally opening scene. She's already annoyed with him. They're leaving to from New York to the summer house in the Hamptons. And so it's Craig, Gabby, and Paige. And I think I'm gonna take this opportunity to try to incorporate some visuals. I have been talking about that. I've been messing around with editing. If you're not watching live, you can watch the edited videos later. And so I'm going to try to incorporate pictures. So if I pause, it's because I'm going to try to post a picture so you could see who I'm talking about. Okay. Um, so and maybe that'll help me, like, slow down a little bit so I'm not talking a mile a minute and people can understand me. Okay. Opening scene, Paige and Craig, and Gabby, they all drive up together. Um, Boom. Craig goes to Gabby, "Oh, I brought you drinks. I brought some drinks." And Paige is like, you could hear Paige, and Gabby's like, "Oh, thank you, drinks, perfect." And you can hear Paige in the car, "I got the drinks. I was the one that got the drinks." And Craig totally big saladed Paige. And if you guys don't know what big salading means, it's a reference from Seinfeld that um George buys Elaine's salad, and George's girlfriend takes credit for buying the salad. So George's girlfriend big saladed the big salad. So in this case, Paige bought the drinks. Craig took credit for the drinks. So Craig big saladed the drinks. You got it? That's not cool. That is not cool. Don't take credit for the drinks or give your girlfriend credit if she got them. Hey, Paige brought us drinks. Cool. Craig has to make everything about himself, and that is a trend that we are going to see throughout this episode. That is the thesis of my recap. So let's follow that line. That's a good way to approach this. So then we got all of the guys driving up in the car together. All the bros, Jesse, West, Amarul, and Carl. Those are all the bros. They're talking in the car. One thing I thought was funny is that Jesse was joking around about how Lexi says "woof woof," and my daughter Morgan, who's 1, just started saying words, and one of her favorite things to do when she sees a dog is go "woof woof, woof woof." So I just wanna let you guys know that. It's so cute. Um, so yeah, so Jesse's saying how Lexi says "woof woof," and then all the guys start woofing. "Woof, woof, woof, woof." I can't even do it. It's so embarrassing. I'm not a guy. And then they pull up and they're like, "The dogs are here. Dogs are here." Sorry, I don't wanna scream. The kids are sleeping. But, oh my gosh, these guys, boys. No Lindsay this weekend, so that is a loss. I always miss when Lindsay's not there. She just brings this, like, energy to the house that I like. I feel that Lindsay. So they have a surprise party for Amanda. Amanda talks about how she is on her antidepressants now. She's feeling good. She's feeling like herself. In the past few seasons, you can tell she has not been happy and she's not been really like doing what she wants for herself. So it's good to see that, one, she's taking medicine that helps her, and two, she's telling people and advocating it for it because if there are people that are on the fence, medicine really does help. And I think it's great that Amanda found something that helps her. Um, Carl is talking about his soft bar and how he is in the process of opening that. And he kind of references how he brought this idea up to Lindsay in the past. To be fair, I listened to Carl on Vile Files, and which is Nick Vile's podcast, he usually gets all of the big Bravo people who are involved in a scandal. He usually gives the, like, fuckboy guys a chance to tell their side of the story so that they're not a complete villain. I think Nick, like, feels for these people because he used to be a villain. Um, but and people know he's not gonna put whoever he has on, he usually takes their side, is what I've seen. He doesn't really, like, push too hard, but when he's talking about them, he's good at, like, asking hard questions. That's just what I've seen from his interviews. So, anyway, so in that interview with Nick Vile, he is talking about how in the past Lindsay had shot him down for his non-alcoholic sports bar. And on that interview, he's like, "To be fair, like, that wasn't a good idea. Like, Lindsay was right in pushing me and telling me that that wasn't a good idea because it wasn't. I needed to pivot. So, me opening this is not like in her face, haha, I did it. It's like she made me have to pivot and I had to come up with this idea because she was right. That original sports bar didn't work. So, it's huge growth for them to be able to, you know, not even just to not talk negatively and give credit where credit is due, and to know that even though last year didn't work, they still had some sort of friendship, relationship, and that's not something to negate. Um, but, uh, Carl named he did, kinda shade Lindsay when he named his bar. It's called the Soft Bar, and, like, for soft drinks. That's like um I don't know. Is that an East Coast thing? What do people say? I know there's, like, a big divide on, like, the pop, soda, soft drink, NA on what people NA bevs. Um, so I don't know what region that is, but he's saying he's calling it soft bar, and it's kind of referencing him and Lindsay. In the past, he always said, like, "I want you to be soft." That was also, like, an iconic scene. Like, "I just want you to be soft. Hug me, hug me." It's like, "Okay, Carl." So that's what he named that. Um, and so, yeah, good for you, Carl. That was a good scene. I like to see the progress. I think we're gonna see the opening of that later in the season. Um I thought it was funny that they're, blurring out the spritz cans. I wonder if that was Kyle's doing, the Spritz Society. When they were talking about it, it's definitely blurred out. So Loverboy does not have any competition on this episode. Um, West. He is like the ultimate fuckboy. So many people have made this reference, but basically a fuckboy that looks like Robin Williams from The Birdcage. I'm gonna post a meme here so that people can see that. He loves attention, and you could tell by the way he dresses, full on, like, peacocking, like, VH1 style, um, pickup artist, peacocking, that's his vibe. Honestly, he probably negs girls too. He is, like, he's like, "Oh, yeah, like, I just hate to be yelled at. I don't like conflict, and it's been so nice being having 2 weekends without being yelled at." And he attributes that to not bringing girls home. People think that he might have, like, one girl that he's into, and that's why he's not bringing her around. Um, but Sierra's fine, dude. She doesn't care about you. She's already, like, laughing a little bit at your jokes, but she knows that you are not worth her time. And I just hate when guys are like, a girl gets mad at a guy for doing something. Oops, I hit that. I'm passionate. You know, like Sierra gets mad at Wes. This is what made me mad that you did this. And he just goes, okay, then I just won't say anything and I'll just shut down and I'll be completely quiet and I won't like talk at all. And and she's like, that's not what I didn't get mad at you for being around. I got mad at you for doing this. Just don't do this anymore. Just don't be disrespectful. STFU, shut the fuck up and be respectful, bro. That's all she's asking. And I guess it's respectful for him to not bring the girls back, but I just have a chip on my shoulder for Wes after last season. I think a lot of people do. But I'm kind of loving that Jesse's like moving in on Sierra, and I hope that Wes gets jealous. Um, yeah, let's see. Do I have any other notes on Wes I can just throw into this part? I might have more on Wes. We'll see. Um, so they have a big family pizza dinner. It looks like it's Friday night. They all get into town on Friday. Easy, do pizza. I like that. I like that style. That's what I like to do on vacation. Easy dinner the first night. Get your bearings. Paige and Amanda are cat mom and dog mom, respectively. Did I do that right? Let me know. Okay, so they are showing pictures of them, and I think that's so cute. I am excited for when they actually do become moms. Long time in the future, they don't need to do that now, and they don't even need to do it if they don't want to, but I think that's so cute. Um, Kyle comes in, Craig's already sitting. You can tell there's, like, anxiety going on. Kyle just wants to get this conversation over with. He knows he has problems with Craig. He knows that, like, they have to discuss this whole Spritz Society lover boy thing. I've talked about it in the past, but Craig and Kyle both own or Cr not own. Kyle owns a canned cocktail drink called Loverboy, and that is his baby. He has started that since the beginning of the show. He it's his bread and butter. It's I think he loves it more than Amanda, to be honest. Anyways, so Craig wanted to invest in a canned cocktail company. Craig, the person who on I just need to go on a tangent. Craig, the person who on Southern Charm right now is saying that he's an alcoholic, and he has a problem, it is investing in a spritz company. But he's using this like, I don't party, I don't do this stuff, but he's opening a cocktail company. It just Craig, pick a lane. Who's a lane? Pick a lane. Um, Sorry, that was a little tangent. So Craig invested in a competitor's canned cocktail, Spritz Society, and he tried to say that he asked Kyle if he could invest, and Kyle said no, but Kyle said he just didn't give me a chance to give him the rate sheet to go over it, and pretty much Craig already had the deal with Spritz Society. He was just telling Kyle. He didn't tell him, he asked him if he could, but essentially he was telling him that he was doing it because the next day he didn't even give Kyle a chance. Um, I've discussed this on previous Summer House recap. Um, and they've come to blows in the public on Watch What Happens Live. Kyle's made comments that Craig's a big liar, so Craig was upset about that. It's awkward. Um, yeah, so they're at the dinner. Jesse walks in. We need a moment for Jesse's outfit. I loved it. It's like a shorts shirt, Charlie Sheen 2.5 Men style shirt. It's a vibe. I love it for the Hamptons, for Summer House. Yes. More like Jesse style, less like West style. Let's leave the Robin Williams looks for Robin Williams in the birdcage. Like he did it best. So we don't need to recreate. And he's doing things like a scarf on his head. I just paused because I'm gonna see if I can find that picture. It's like what I don't know. But Sierra is in a matching like color as Jesse, and they're sitting next to each other, and she looked him up and down. She gave him the eyes. She is down to clown. She wants Jesse. But I don't think she wants him as a boyfriend. I think she just wants him like to hook up with him, just like a summer thing. And I think it'd be even better like to get back at Wes, kind of. I don't think Wes would like that. But Jesse's hella messy. He comes in and he's like, "Oh, did you guys already fight? I didn't hear anything. Are we all resolved? Did we squash the beef?" And they had not. So it just made it like a little bit more awkward. Um, Craig is so friggin' smug that he threw off Kyle's plan. He knew that Kyle was going to come in on Friday and want to talk about it and squash the beef, get it all over with. And he's like, "No, I'm going to do it on my time. And I'm going to watch Kyle squirm all night because we haven't resolved this. And I'm going to sit here cool as a cucumber and just let Kyle squirm." And he's just so smug about that. And I don't like it when Craig is smug. I just don't. Love Kyle's shirt. It's like an orange shirt that says Loverboy and it says summer's supposed to be fun. I really, really like that. That's a Amanda designs their she's their graphic designer. So I'm pretty sure she designed that. She just did such a good job of doing all that stuff. And I really like to see all her designs. This is a good segue, except for her bathing suit designs. Like she has a little bit of like scene where she starts showing how she's got this um come like this bathing suit line that she's working on. And she sorry, I have notes on this. I have the company. Um South Moon Under reached out to her to start bathing suits. And last season, she had said she wanted to design bathing suits for girls that have big boobs and that can hold them. And everyone was like, "Yes, Amanda, we need that. We need that." And the line came out, and it's kind of like stuff you can get on Amazon, it looks like. It doesn't look like it supports the big boobs. I want like a cup. I want straps. I want adjustable. I want a cup size. And hers are small, medium, large. And anyone with the girls knows that small, medium, large sometimes just doesn't cut it. You need some. So, uh-oh, someone's awake. Who's awake? Someone's coming down the stairs. We'll see who it is. I might have to pause, but I'm gonna come back because I know we're 45 minutes in, but I have so much more to say on Summer House. So if I have to stop, I'm coming back. Let's see what's going on. Uh-oh.